If you're using Canva for your designs, you could already be making these mistakes, and it's probably holding you back more than you realize. I see it all the time, and once you notice it in your own designs, you won't be able to unsee it. So before you start your next project, let's fix it. Let's go ahead and jump right into Canva. The first thing I want to talk about is font choices. A lot of people will simply open up a text box, type in what they want, and they're satisfied with the font choice that they made, or the default font choice, which is typically like a Canva sans or something along those lines. Y'all, I want to introduce you to the world of fonts because there are millions of fonts. The amount of different font typefaces that are out there is insane. And I am just a font girl, so I constantly am like, pick a font that matches your vibe. It's something that I can get on my soapbox about. But more importantly than that is font pairing. So a lot of times whenever designs are being created, the font pairings are not matching up. And what I mean by that is you're picking something maybe that's a little bit more bold. So let's just try this bright retro font. And you're pairing it with maybe something that's a little bit too similar, even something like this. So it's like kind of in the same wheelhouse, but it's not exactly matching, and it's just not giving enough contrast. So what I recommend, and there is a couple different ways that you can turn this into a little bit of a formula to help you, but I typically try to pick a good contrasting font that matches the same aesthetic as the font that I love the most. So let's say that we really love this bright retro font. It's giving a retro vibe, right? I think that this would contrast really well with a script or a sans serif. So if you hear me say a serif font, serifs have these little notches on the edge of the letters, and then a sans serif does not. So this font Outfit is a sans serif. I don't think that that's a good match. There's also this one called Fierce Sights. Still not a great match for me. I'm thinking that a script font that looks a little bit more retro is probably gonna be our best bet. I already think that this is so cute. I am gonna shrink it down just a little bit, but y'all, look how cute this font is with this. So you could do something like a really fun, groovy script, and you can play around until you get it to a point that you really like it. But I think the font pairing is the biggest thing we want to pay attention to, right? Because we want our projects to look professional and complete, and font pairing is a part of that. So as you can see, this looks super cute together. It's still contrasting, but it looks nice together. Now, if you're having trouble really finding good font pairings, I want to show you all what you can do down here. So Canva has been so gracious, and they added in their own font combinations. I absolutely love this because if you're not great at pairing fonts together, they give you this so you can kind of do it on your own. So what I'm going to do is just pull one of these in, and we can take out the one we already kind of played around with. And you can actually ungroup these, and you can change the words to fit whatever you're doing. You can even change the color of the words and all of that, which I think is super fun. All the text effects are already applied, but I can actually go in here and change the colors to whatever my heart desires. And I think that that is just too cool. But as you can see, you can scroll down here. There are tons of different ones that you can use. And I just think this makes it so much easier if you are really stuck or you want to kind of elevate your design, but you can't put your finger on exactly what it is. Try playing around with your font. And I promise it will change your design up to be super elevated, and it's gonna look very finished and professional. Let's talk about something else that I see a lot, and that is having too much space in between your script letters. Now, a lot of times, whenever you choose the font, whenever you type it out, it will come in and it'll look like this. So it'll have the spaces around it, and you're like, oh, that looks kind of weird, because a script typically is completely connected. Whenever you're writing, like in real life, you're writing, everything's connected on a script. And so what you need to do is make sure that your letters are what we call kerned. That means that all of the letters are touching. So kerning your text is just adding the appropriate amount of space in between the letters. And in Canva, you can very easily fix this. So if you type out something and you're using a script and you really like it, but it looks like this, all you need to do is come up here to your letter spacing, and we're just going to adjust this so that all of the letters touch appropriately. And look how much better that looks. Working with script fonts is typically the most of the time when you're going to run into an issue like this, but I see it all the time with script fonts. So make sure you're kerning your letters so that they look really nice and finished. All right, you all, let's talk about this design. So I see this a lot, and I think it's coming from a good place, and that's why I want to talk about it, because I think whenever we start designing things, we get really excited and we're like, let's add in all of these cool elements. Like, I want to add in scissors. I want to add in a glue graphic. I want to add in a paintbrush graphic. Let's add some paint splatter on the background. And while all of those elements make sense for the make stuff design that we have pictured here, I want to talk about how less is more when it comes to designing. And while this can be really fun for you to put together, it's not necessarily what is needed to create a beautiful finished looking design. So there's kind of a lot happening. So I want to talk about taking elements away and how you can kind of tone down the design and still create something beautiful. So let's just go in here. I'm going to start deleting any elements that I think are just kind of extra. This glue could go. I don't feel like that's adding to this design right now. I'm kind of on the fence about this little paintbrush. I love the scissors. And the reason I love these scissors is because it's kind of leading us into the word. So it's leading us into make, and it's bringing us right to stuff. So it's kind of connected. So I'm going to leave that for now. That's like a definite yes for me. And I also kind of love these paint splatters, but let's talk about what we can do to kind of tone it down. So if you're wanting to add a background element, this is something that I'll do a lot of times when I'm creating designs. If I want to have like the essence of something, I'll select it and tone down the transparency like a ton. So we put that down to like a 16 on the transparency scale, and we'll bump this one way down too. So it's still kind of back there, but our words are the focal point. Making sure that you have your eyes on the correct focal point is so important. And I see that a lot of times as well. We kind of lose focus and we're not remembering that the main point of this design is to show the words make stuff. That's the point we're trying to get across, right? We're not trying to get the point across of just like paint splatter all over your shirt or whatever you're going to put this design on. We want it to definitely say make stuff and for people to be able to read it. So I really like toning down the paint splatters behind it. And I also really like this, but I just don't feel like it's doing anything for the design. Like it's not really serving a point. It's just kind of there. Now, if we got rid of this, let's just get rid of the scissors and kind of see if that helps. Maybe we can flip it, and you can play around with this type of stuff to see what works. But if for some reason you can't get it to lay out correctly or fit how you want it to, then it's just not meant for the design, right? So you could add this in here, but again, it just is kind of not fitting. So I'm going to take that off. We're going to move this back, and then I'm going to put our scissors back in. And y'all, I honestly think that this is just too cute how it is. You could even shrink these down just a little bit. So it's kind of underlining the make and then leading you right to the word stuff, which I really like about this design. It just pulls it all together. So this is a good way of kind of taking off a few elements of your design before it is finalized, and it just makes it look a little bit more elevated. So let's review. These are the main things that you should stop doing in Canva today to really elevate your designs. Number 1, stop making poor font choices. Number 2, stop pairing the wrong fonts together. Number 3, stop making bad line and font spacing choices. We want to make sure all of our script fonts are kerned and looking beautiful. Number 4, stop using too many elements in your design. We don't want to overcrowd it. We want to make it look beautiful and clean and finished. And number 5 is using the wrong focal point. So we want to make sure that we are focusing on the message that we want to get across in our design rather than having too many elements and kind of taking the focus off of what we want to portray. With that being said, I hope that you all are able to take some of these tips and tricks and apply them into your designing today. These are such small tweaks that you can make to your designs to make them look incredible. Let me know some of your favorites down in the comments, some of your favorite Canva tricks that you tweaked and now your designs look incredible. I would love to hear those. Let me know what your favorite one was today as well. And if you like this video, I think you're gonna like this one too. Make sure to watch this, hit the subscribe button, and hit the little bell so you're notified every single time that we post. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.